it's been a year approximately since I installed the aFe Pro Dry filter. I chose it because it doesn't use oil. So anyway, it's been a year, so I'm wondering how dirty it's become. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take out the aFe Pro Dry filter and we're going to clean it. So I have a dedicated aFe power cleaner formulated for dry filters apparently. Now according to this bottle, it's very toxic. So you're supposed to wear eye protection and, you know, cover your mouth and ears and your hands and all that kind of stuff. It's very toxic. There is a YouTube video of some guys who clean their filter in their kitchen and they end up regretting it. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to clean it outdoors. So let's get started. Okay, visually it doesn't look that dirty, to be honest. There are a few larger particles in there. They seem to have made it past the filter material. Okay, there's the bucket I'm gonna use later. Let's see inside if we see anything crazy. Anything we should use a vacuum cleaner for? No, it doesn't look that dirty at all. Doesn't look that dirty at all. Now for the hard part. I don't know how well you guys can hear me now with the mask on, but I've got my mask and my goggles on. So we're gonna open this up. And we should spray this stuff on the top side of the filter. Let it rest for 10 minutes after spraying it, and then we're supposed to rinse it without high pressure, just with the tap water. And then after doing that, we're supposed to let it stand until it dries. I don't actually know how much of this stuff to use. There's no recommended quantity, but I thought I was quite generous there. The bottle's quite large at 946 milliliters for one filter, cleaning it every year kind of thing. While we wait for that, so 10 minutes to pass, I'm gonna put in the stock filter back into the box. Also, while we wait for those 10 minutes to pass, we'll add this fuel injector cleaner into the fuel system. This is a BMW product. I was provided this by BMW, by the BMW dealer last year when I had issues, and I was told it was bad fuel, both by the dealer and by the tuning company that did the stage 1 tuning on the car. The only instructions is that you add this 100 ml container, the contents of this 100 ml container, into a fuel tank that has at least 45 liters and maximum 75 liters of petrol in it. So the car is full, the fuel tank is 52 liters, so if it's full, it should be within that limit. There are more instructions. Once again, this is very toxic. Yeah, usual warnings, don't drink it and all that. Before I do that, I'll just open the fuel. All right. Something's gone wrong, but there's still an internal seal. There you go. Make sure there's nothing loose that'll go into the fuel system. Doesn't look like anything loose to me. That's in there. Hey. Okay, so hopefully this will help clean the fuel system a little bit, at least the injectors, and we'll see if this makes any difference, or if it brings back the drivetrain fault. This is about tap water, tap pressure. So let's start rinsing it. Well, let's see what comes out. Again, there's no instructions how to do this, so what I'm doing is just passing it over each of the gaps and then each of the protruding parts, I guess. Okay. And of course, the big advantage of this filter is that once we've cleaned it and it's dry, we can just put it back into the muffler box. We don't have to oil it. That was always my concern, oiling the filter and getting too much oil on it and potentially contaminating the mass airflow sensor downstream. This way, as soon as it's dry, I don't have to worry about that part. So this is why I chose this filter, because I don't trust myself with the oil. Next, as we have the engine bay open, we might as well check coolant. The engine is cool. Haven't driven it since yesterday, so there'll be no issue. That opened way too easily. Yeah, the engine is cool, so there's no harm in opening the coolant tanks, now the expansion tanks. And the coolant is right down. It's below minimum. As I expected, after pushing the car hard the other day, doing 0 to 60 times, there is less coolant in the engine coolant expansion tank. So good, we'll top that off as well. It seems like every time you drive the car really hard, you get some coolant loss. Well, this is difficult to turn. That was too easy to turn. This is too difficult to turn. Let's check this one too. Yep, and this one has gone down as well. So, very good. We have everything open. We might as well put in some coolant into both expansion tanks. Get it to where it's supposed to be. So we're going to mix equal parts distilled water and BMW coolant. Oh, I went too far. So I'm going to have to extract some of it out. I reckon that's about perfect. So I'll just go get a syringe and extract some of that excess coolant now. Okay, that too is perfect. The GoPro unexpectedly ran out of battery, so continuing with the phone. But all I've done is close these caps up to the point where they click. So that's done as well. Okay guys, while this continues to dry, we're gonna go put some air in the tires. I seem to have 2.1 bar in the front tires and 2.2 bar in the back tires. I'm only going to put air in the front tires. So while I go and put air in the front tires, I just wanted to quickly mention another YouTube channel that you guys will probably find very entertaining. This is Matt Armstrong, and he is perhaps the best YouTube channel for anybody who loves cars right now. He modifies and restores cars, and he buys wrecked cars for, you know, he buys bargains and he fixes them up. And not only does he fix them up, he modifies them. He's a fantastic guy. His whole attitude, the way he presents the work, the way he tackles challenges, He tackles it all with so much positivity, and I just think, I hope it's all genuine. I believe it's all genuine, that he really is that guy, that, you know, the persona that you see in YouTube channels. And honestly, I'm strongly recommend that you guys watch his YouTube channel. According to the sensor, it's 2.1. According to the air pump, I already had 2.3. That's a big difference between the two. So now it's showing 2.3 bar for the front tires and 2.2 for the back. I want less pressure in the back because I feel that'll result in more traction. The tire will flatten more and make more road contact. And I want more pressure in the front tires because I feel they're generally just in the way when testing 0 to 60 times. So I want to inflate them as much as possible, you know, within the limits, the recommended limits, and make sure they have as little resistance to the movement of the car as possible. So I feel that inflating them and reducing the amount of contact surface with the road probably will improve 0 to 60 times. Let's see how this is doing. I'm using a plastic spoon to gently remove some of the debris that I can see still trapped in there. Mostly insects. And this is not part of the instructions. So it's been about 1 hour 40 minutes since we washed the filter. Thinking about it, maybe I should have applied that cleaning fluid on both sides of the filter and also rinsed it on both sides of the filter. Lesson learned for next time, but generally it looks dry to me. We can see all the stuff floating around, but we'll pour out the water so that we can also see what's at the bottom. And all that was in the filter. It's not actually that bad, and it's mostly sand, dust, that kind of thing. But there you go. The filter is definitely cleaner. I guess the main concern with starting the car before the filter is completely dry is that some of that liquid will vaporize and go onto the mass airflow sensor and maybe contaminate the sensor. We'll see. Okay guys, all that is done. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget what I said about Matt Armstrong's channel. Definitely find it. I'll put a link in the description below, because it is worth your time to visit that channel and watch some of his videos.
A few moments later.
Well, that was lucky, getting that out of the way.